Hi, I'm Mungo. Welcome to tonight's Monday Night Roar. Our anchor Keisha Young is sick tonight, so this will be a short broadcast. We have your international, local, and Clemson news tonight. All that and more coming up on the Monday Night Roar. In international news, as part of a recent ceasefire deal, pro-Russian rebels released captive Ukrainian troops yesterday. Tech-savvy Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko stated in a Twitter post that a total of 73 troops were released. Despite the ceasefire, however, heavy fighting broke out between the Ukrainian and rebel forces in northern Donetsk in the Ukraine. Since the fighting began, at least 6 civilians were killed and 15 were injured. President Poroshenko told German Chancellor Angela Merkel that the ceasefire is obviously being violated and that the rebels went back on their agreement to make further efforts to settle the situation peacefully. Are you constantly bumping into people on the sidewalk because you have your eyes glued to your phone while you're walking? Move to China. The city of Hong Kong is set to implement different lanes in their sidewalks, one for cell phone users and one for everyone else. Long Cheng, spokeswoman for the developer behind this genius idea, says that the lanes will remind tourists not to walk while playing with cell phones. She calls the gesture of texting and walking a potential safety hazard. The idea of 2 sidewalk lanes will most likely be shot down, however, by the abundance of pedestrians who seem to think that it's a bad idea. After ISIS's beheading of another Westerner, a man from the UK, Britain has vowed to aid in taking down the terrorist group. World leaders met today in Paris, France to discuss solutions to this terrorist disease that has claimed another life. Among them were over 24 nations, the Arab League, the European Union, and the United Nations. The Band of Nations agreed to take ISIS down by, quote, any means necessary in an effort to ensure that the culprits of this threat to international community are brought to justice. And now, let's check in with Gabby for sports.
Hello guys, let's jump right into this week's sports, starting off with your very own Clemson Tigers. The Tigers had an off weekend this past weekend, but they're right back in it Saturday in Tallahassee, Florida, facing off the defending national champions and currently #1 ranked Florida State Seminoles. The Seminoles are currently 2-0, beating Oklahoma State 37-31 during opening week. They then went on to defeat the Citadel Bulldogs 37-12. Right now, your Tigers are ranked at number 22 after coming off a tough loss against the Georgia Bulldogs. The question is, will Dabo Swinney and the team be able to pull off a big upset this weekend against the Florida State Seminoles? If you're not going to be able to make it to Tallahassee, tune in at 8 on ABC or ESPN to watch our Tigers take on the Florida State Seminoles. Speaking of the Tigers, the Clemson's very own C.J. Spiller and Sammy Watkins helped give the Buffalo Bills the big W against Miami Dolphins. C.J. Spiller had a 102-yard kick return for a touchdown, and Watkins had his first NFL career touchdown, helping out the Bills at 2-0 for the season. Together, Spiller and Watkins put up 271 of the team's 426 all-purpose yards. Watkins told the media, quote, Clemson prepared us, that's all I can say. And it's just that great to have us two on the same team at the same time. We've just got to keep working and keep running as a team. Well, we had a big upset in the ACC with Boston College upsetting number 9 USC 37-31. Boston College's quarterback Tyler Murphy sealed off the game with a 66-yard touchdown run with only 3 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Murphy had a great game, rushing for 191 yards. Other big players were John Hillman, who ran for 89 yards with 2 touchdowns, and Miles Willis and Sherman Atson helping give the Eagles a total of 452 rushing yards. USC quarterback finished with completing 31 of 41 passes for 317 yards and 4 touchdowns, but also struggled with 5 sacks from the Eagles' defense. The Trojans were just coming off a big win against Stanford that had moved them up to number 9 in the polls. Well, what a surprise it was for many. The USC Gamecocks defeated the number 13 ranked Bulldogs 38-35 this past Saturday. The Georgia Bulldogs Heisman frontrunner Todd Gurley finished with 131 yards and a touchdown. The Bulldogs' struggle started with Georgia's quarterback Hunter Mason getting called for intentional grounding on first down. The Bulldogs went on to miss a field goal of 28 yards in the last 4 minutes and 28 seconds left in the game. Gurley had a 54-yard touchdown that was taken away because of holding on Georgia's guard. Georgia was able to come back in the last 7 minutes of the game with Quavon Hicks' 1-yard scoring run, putting the Dogs only 3 points away from the Gamecocks. South Carolina's quarterback Thompson finished off the game with a 271 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. Billy Horschel won the FedEx Cup Saturday to get not only a big trophy, but also a great amount of cash. Horschel shot 2 under par 68 on Sunday to claim the title of the FedEx Club champion. Horschel was able to defeat number 1 in the world Roy McIlroy and Jim Furyk by 3 strokes. Horschel's victory was worth $11.44 million. Redskins famous Robert Griffin III is out after dislocating his left ankle in the first quarter of Sunday's game. Jay Gruden, Redskins coach, has not announced the return of RG3, but did say he will undergo an MRI on Monday to determine how bad the injury is. If the Redskins star needs to undergo surgery, it is very possible he will be out for the rest of the season. Griffin dislocated his ankle by making a leaping throw near the sidelines. Griffin somehow landed on his ankle wrong after finishing the pass. And to think things couldn't get worse in the NFL. Vikings running back Adrian Peterson could be facing charges for child abuse for repeatedly beating his son with a switch in May. The Vikings immediately suspended him from the game on Sunday against the Patriots. The Vikings announced Monday that Peterson will be able to return to practice and meetings this week and is expected to play in the game Monday against the Saints. That's all I have for your sports. Now back to you, Will.
Thanks, Gabby. Apple fans everywhere will soon be devastated when they realize that the company is already running out of iPhone 6 smartphones to give you greedy people. Apple has already sold a record 4 million iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Pluses on Friday when they were made available for pre-order. Demand was so high, in fact, that the iPhone 6 Plus sold out within hours of going on the market. While many people who ordered the iPhone 6 will get their smartphones this Friday, some of you won't get your flashy new iPhones until you wait about a month. Former South Carolina Governor Mark Stanford wrote a 2,300 words Facebook post stating that he and his Argentine fiancée have broken up. You may know Stanford for his extramarital affair while hiking the Appalachian Trail. The congressman says that, surprisingly, strains between him and his ex-wife had complicated his relationship with his 3 children, as well as his relationship with his fiancée, Maria Belen-Chapur. Stanford and Chapur had been engaged since August of 2012, only a few years after admitting to cheating on his wife. In his lengthy Facebook post, Stanford claims that he's being summoned to court today as part of what he calls yet another lawsuit by his ex-wife. Batman and Spider-Man have been charged with misdemeanor assault. In Times Square, 2 costumed men engaged in a fist fight with another man at 10:25 in Times Square. 41-year-old Jose Escalona Martinez and 35-year-old Abdel El-Khazai were only the most recent in a series of arrests involving more costumed characters in Times Square. Woody from Toy Story, Minnie Mouse, and even the Statue of Liberty herself now have criminal records since their arrests for either charging tourists for pictures or assaulting other tourists. Citizens should consider contacting Disney for complaints. Now let's go to John Oliver with entertainment.
Thanks, Will. Members of Transylvania University's Delta Sigma Pi fraternity were personally offered free Taylor Swift concert tickets after their video went viral. The brothers were featured singing and dancing to Taylor's new hit, Shake It Off. Swift says, "I'm personally inviting all of these guys and a date to a show on tour next year. It's on me. Nailed it, bros." One of the fraternity members said that it only took about 2 hours to make the video, including rehearsals. The brothers are shocked by how popular the video has become. Currently, the YouTube video has close to about 3 million views. A bronze statue was placed in a park near Camden, London to remember the singer Amy Winehouse. The statue was unveiled yesterday, which was the singer's birthday. Her parents were in attendance and gave emotional speeches. Mitch Winehouse even hugged and kissed the statue. The statue featured Amy Winehouse's signature beehive updo, one hand on her hip, a retro-style dress, and a Star of David necklace. The singer passed away tragically 3 years ago at the age of 27 from accidental alcohol poisoning. CBS executives announced this past week the new host of Late 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 Show would be James Corden. However, funny lady Kathy Griffin says she's disappointed with the decision. Griffin says that although she is not surprised another male was appointed to the position, she hoped a female comedian would have been considered. CBS executives told Griffin they were not considering females at the time. Griffin feels it will probably be another 40 to 50 years until a female hosts a late-night talk show on one of the 4 major television networks. She says, "Here's the deal, we're screwed." Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper are teaming up again in the new film Serena. In their 3rd movie together, Lawrence and Cooper play George and Serena Pemberton, who are North Carolina newlyweds trying to build a timber empire in the Great Depression era. Serena then finds out that George has a son. This sounds like a 1930s version of Jerry Springer. The film is set to premiere November 27th. Thanks, bro. Back to you.
Thanks, bro. And tonight we have a brand new segment to reveal to you. Our very own Freddie Pope will update you on what's happening in the world of movie madness. Take it away, Freddie.
Hello, and welcome to Showtimes. We provide you with all the important movie news from the couch to the theater. We cover movies coming to Redbox, theaters, Netflix, and Amazon Prime. Up first are the movies coming out to Redbox, which is nothing important this week. But in case you missed it, last week brought Captain America: Winter Soldier, which could be one of the best of the Avenger movies so far. Next is Netflix and Amazon. Netflix has rolled out some classics this month. If you missed it, here's what is out so far. On Netflix, Cool Runnings, Crocodile Dundee, Flubber, and School of Rock, and on Amazon Prime, Spaceballs, and the film adaptation of the kids' book, Hugo. New this week on Netflix is Silver Linings Playbook. In theaters this week is a good week to go to the movies if you liked Hunger Games. Maze Runner, a film adaptation of the novel, hits theaters this Thursday. It's gathering some pretty solid reviews, so go check it out. Also, if you prefer comedies, then This Is Where I Leave You might be more your speed this Thursday. The reviews haven't been the best, but with a pretty good cast, it will be most likely good for some laughs. And finally for theaters, if you hadn't seen it so far, you should go and see Guardians of the Galaxy, a trash-talking lowlife, green alien lady, literal massive muscle, talking raccoon, and Groot, my heart, trying to save the galaxy from a rogue member of the Blue Man Group. Also, If I Stay, a film adaptation based on the novel of the same name, answers the question, what happens when a person is in a coma? The sole survivor of a car accident wanders around the hospital pondering if she wants to live or die. Also, a book-to-film adaptation, The Giver, is the story of a boy who learns all the secrets that Meryl Streep didn't want you to know. But seriously, it is one of the best jobs copying a book into a movie I have ever seen. Finally, As Above, So Below, a trip to the French catacombs surprisingly goes wrong in this movie, which will make you fear the idea of going underground and possibly reconsider the physics of manhole covers. Thank you for tuning in, and watch next week for more movie reviews. Back to you.
Thanks, Freddie, and welcome to the Monday Night Roar. Clemson students, don't forget about the Fall Career Fair that's taking place tomorrow and Wednesday. The Career Fair will be hosting over 250 businesses that all want to recruit you. The fair will be split into technical industries and non-technical industries. Check your student emails for a complete list of the registered employers. The fair will take place in Littlejohn Coliseum from 12 to 5 p.m. both tomorrow and Wednesday. Also, the band Need to Breathe will be performing this Friday at Littlejohn Coliseum. They are a Christian rock band originating from Seneca, South Carolina. Tickets are available at the Hendricks Student Center guest services desk, available at $28.50 and $36.50 depending on the location of your seat. Student presale starts Wednesday at 10 a.m. Tickets will be available to the public on Friday at 10 a.m. There will be a $5 discount for students with their CUID, so make sure you bring yours. Tickets will also be available at Ticketmaster.com. And finally, let's check in with James for our weekly weather report.
Thanks, guys. Let's take a look at your weather for the rest of the week. As you can see, moving all the way through the week, it is going to be partly sunny. It's going to be great. It's not going to be a lot of rain, maybe on Wednesday with 20%, but that's the most chance of rain we're going to be seeing this week. Temperatures in the upper 80s, lower 80s, except for Wednesday, it's going to be high of 76, so that'll be pretty nice. Right outside your window, it is partly cloudy, 74 degrees, fairly nice outside. No wind, but it is humidity of 79%, almost 80, so that's going to be nice and sticky outside if you're outside right now. Taking a look at your radar, we're going to have a nice low pressure front coming up in from the north, from Kentucky, coming into the Golden Corner area, bringing us some of that cooler weather on Wednesday. And if you really don't like the cooler weather, go stand in the corner, because it's usually 90 degrees. Now back to you guys.
Bye to you guys, there's no one else here. That's all for tonight, Clemson. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a great week, guys.